This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hello and welcome to Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo, hence the name of the podcast. And today I have Soozy Miller, which she is an executive coach and the founder of Control Your Career, or executive career coach, I should say. It's different, right? We discussed this.
Right.
And she's also my client, and we've been working together for just a couple of weeks. And I'm excited to have this conversation to add value to people that might be wanting to change their career. So I'm going to let her introduce herself. But first, Soozy, how are you?
I'm well. How are you? It's Friday. So that's a good thing, right? It's Friday.
Yeah. I'm feeling good.
The sun is shining. It's good weather. Everything's good here on Long Island.
That is awesome. I should start telling people to say where they at in their weather. Like now that you said, I'm like, no, that's nice too, because it adds to the mood. I feel now that you say it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And here in Oregon, sadly, summer is over. So now it's starting to get gloomy. It's the worst part of the year, but business is going well, and I got good health, and I feel good. I'm comfortable. So definitely a good day.
All good stuff.
Yeah. So let's go into just my first question, or my first part that I want to discuss, which is give us a quick introduction of yourself.
Hi, so I'm Soozy Miller, and I'm an executive career coach. And what that means is that I help executives to control their career. That's the name of my company, Control Your Career. And what I do is I help them. They come to me when they are stressed. They come to me when they're stuck. They come to me when they want to do something different than what they're doing for a variety of reasons. And I help them gain control of their career. That means a couple of tools that I give them and a little bit of coaching I give them, which we can talk about in a bit. But it's basically, I'm an executive resume writer, LinkedIn writer, cover letter, but I'm also a strategy coach to help them use those materials to land a better opportunity.
And that's so important nowadays because, we're in the hottest job market ever, arguably. Things are more accessible than ever. The COVID pushed everything online. Now remote work, it's a norm in a lot of places. So now it's the perfect time in a way, it's been a perfect time in this pandemic to take control of your career, especially now that it's like the pandemic has exposed us to life is actually very vulnerable, and a lot of people are kind of realizing that because of the pandemic and other things. Now monkeypox is a thing too, right? Like all these different things. So that's why when I connected with you and I heard that what you're doing, it's like obviously there is a big need for it. So it was great to connect with you, and I'm excited to see what advice can you give to my audience. So let's kind of go to that section then. So do you have actually prior to saying the advice, because this is something big that I like to cover all the time, and I got excited, but I like to get the why. And obviously, there's a need, but why do you chose this path?
I chose this path because I was seeing so much news and information about the Great Resignation. And so what was happening is so many middle management people and lower were coming to me and saying, I don't want to do my job anymore. I'm done. I need to move. I need to fix this. I don't want to be where I am. I want to be somewhere else. And I began to think, okay, and I had been working with middle management, but then I began to think, as a result of the Great Resignation, what if we had better leaders? What if we had more inspirational leaders? Maybe the employees wouldn't have been so unhappy where they are if we had, first of all, executives that match the position they're in, are really good at what they're supposed to be doing. And also they're comfortable where they are, and they know how to engage their employees better where they are. So it was two things: that they fit their position better, they're going to do a better job, and that they are going to have an emotional intelligence to be able to talk to the people on their teams, and everyone will be happier and more productive. So it kind of came out of that. I went from working with middle management and lower to more emphasis. I was working with some executives, but I really, as a result of the Great Resignation, I really wanted to start to work with leadership to make them better, because happiness and work culture and good work, positive work culture is a trickle down thing. It's from the top down. The executives, the C-suite sets the tone, sets the culture. And so I want to try to help those executives set their tone and be better executives, better leaders at their next opportunity.
That's amazing. I love, that's why I love asking about the why, because that is where you really get the purpose, right? You get the reasoning behind taking a decision, because this is not easy. You know, when you decide to go into entrepreneurship, start trying to target high ticket clients and you know, high ticket people, or just a high level of people. You have to be very knowledgeable. You have to be able to talk to them. You have to be able to network, to sell. Like, there's so many different things. It's not you have a job, right? It's like you are everything. And that's why I like asking about the why, because you have to have a strong why, a North Star, to be able to endure all the challenges, because if not, then you'll quit.
And I invoke that why every day. Every time an executive comes to me and says, I need help, I'm stuck, I want to move. I just spoke to somebody 2 days ago, and I sent him a contract today, a CEO, because he's stuck. He doesn't know what to do next. He doesn't know how to get to the next step or proceed. And so I like to change that nervousness, anxiety, lack of knowledge, just pressure. I like to flip that for them and let them be in control of their career. You can't control things that are coming down from the company from outside you. You can't control decisions that other people make. You can't control mergers and acquisitions repercussions. You can't control a lot of what goes on in your life as a leader. What you can control is how you respond to it as an executive. You can control the decision about what you do next. You can control the choices that you make next. And so I want to give executives that personal power so they can be fulfilled in their next role. Yeah,
that's a very, very big keyword for me. Like feeling fulfilled, right? That
very
that
important for anybody to do a good job at their job, to do well at their job. If you don't feel fulfilled, something's going to be lacking when you're working.
Yeah, that's why I like that, like fulfillment, and then like operating in your zone of genius. That's how you also like get the sense of fulfillment. So that's why like it's so important to get to know yourself. What is it? Like, what is my superpowers? What do I feel comfortable doing in the long term? Like, I'm gonna be doing this forever. Like, this is my career. So I have to pick something that really resonates and I'm willing to commit to it, because
and then it's also, for my practice, it's also about the executive realizing their personal strengths, but then how others who have different strengths than them being able to appreciate the strength of others, and that they're not in competition, they're in complement, or they're in collaboration. And so appreciating what others bring to the table is an important part of the puzzle.
That's I completely agree with that. And talking about this, recognizing and being able to accept the collaboration and not competition.
Right.
That takes me to the next question. Do you have any advice or tips that you would like to share with executives, or to your younger self if you were to restart this journey?
To my younger self, and this is actually what I say to clients, to my younger self, I tell them to say no more to opportunities. I used to say yes, because I'm happy to work on all of it, and all of it was related. But after a while, I had too much on my plate, and I had to figure out which parts were really the most lucrative for me and the most fulfilling for me to go on, which path was the most fulfilling and lucrative for me to go on. Which direction was I going to take? Because I can't take all of them. So which direction was I going to take? And I said yes to everything, and I was crazy. I was just working. And it makes me overwhelmed to have that. So now that I know that feeling and I learned from it, I tell my executives, one of the first things that I tell my clients is, I'm going to coach you to say no to 90% of the job offers or job postings that you see. 90%, that's a lot. That's a lot of no. Because when you say no to something that you kind of get the feeling is inappropriate, or right away you think is inappropriate, if you say no, that gives you the room to say yes when something is appropriate. If you say yes to everything, you're going to bog down your time, you're going to waste time and energy, you're going to get frustrated because you're not going to get the response that you want. But if you say no to 90% of job offers and 90% of projects, then you will have the space and the time to put in to the yeses that are appropriate for you. Big difference in the job search when you do that.
I love it. I love it. That's something that I don't think it gets talked about enough. And I mean, that's why you're filling up the need.
Right.
Right, because it's people seem to just say yes and then jump ship, and yes and then jump ship, right?
Exactly. Jump ship. They say yes and then they figure out, oh, this really wasn't for me. Well, take the time to figure out whether or not something is for you. If you put a little bit more time into the research and a little bit more time into discovery, you're gonna save more time on the back end, on the other end.
Yeah. For me, it kind of like got me thinking about, because I got out of the Air Force, and I started my agency 6 months prior to getting out of the Air Force, but then I had a job lined up with Intel, and I just said yes to the first job, literally. And I did not like it at all. And
how long did it take you to figure out that you didn't like it?
I didn't last not even 6 months, so.
Okay.
No, I was there for like 5 months, and I was like, this ain't it. I mean, I knew it was ain't it since like month 2 or something. I was like, nah. But then I stayed there because I needed the income. And then while I take out, like, because I had my agency prior to starting, but I was having trouble like getting clients. So
I understand.
So I was taking calls during my lunch breaks, like
right.
After my day off. Everything, just like taking, like grinding, just working like a man. And like, even like, oh, I have an hour and a half break. Perfect. Let me just prospect. Let me do all these things.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, and that's how
And how did you feel when you were stuck in that position? How did it feel when you were stuck there? When you realized that it wasn't for you? Frustrating, right?
Yeah, damn near depressing, to be honest.
It stifles you. You lose energy. It's stressful. So yeah, quite a difference when you're doing what you love and it fulfills you.
Yeah, and I used it as a motivation to get my business off the ground, because I was I need to get out of here. I need to replace this income. And I jumped ship as fast as I could. I got like 2 clients, and I was like, my first client that ever paid me 10K, boom. Then the other one paid me 15K. I was like, I can do this. I'm out.
Exactly. Yes, I understand.
And it was looking back, it was like, damn, I really was looking for the slightest opportunity, and as soon as I saw, it's like, yeah, I got some money here, right? I'm out. And looking back, it's like kind of risky. But I mean, I'm still here. My business right now is doing better than ever. We're growing. The team is growing. Our clients are getting better. I got Soozy Miller now.
What a prize!
Oh no, yeah, like and look, you see me all cheery and everything right now, but like on Monday, I was like, oh my god, like so many things. I was so frustrated. And Tuesday, I got a new client. I was like, oh, things are good.
Well, I know it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've discovered over the years of doing this, I've been doing this a long time. I've discovered over the years that my actual writing, the actual writing that I do, the resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, executive bio, whatever I'm doing, that only takes about 10% of my time. I'm that fast at it. I'm that good at it. I'm that much of an expert at it, that the writing only takes 10% of my time. The coaching then takes probably another hour of the client's time, of my time, another hour. But it's like 10% of my time. All the rest of it is administrative and marketing and answering emails and just getting back to people and following up. It's just, I've gotten that fast that the actual work that I do is a small portion.
Yeah, I
Just
mean, it is like
interesting.
that though. I mean, for me, I spend so much time in tactical tasks that I'm trying to get off every single day. I'm like, how can I get out of this? Because I'm like, my best time and the most value that I could spend is being the visionary, doing high level sales and networking and bringing more
Right. Yes.
fulfillment, all those
Yes.
different things, connection with the media. That's my most valuable thing. That's how I being able to get like the biggest clients and the biggest impact. But I get stuck with that because I'm growing and I have a team, but my team still I don't have enough to hand out all my hats yet. Like I still wearing a lot of hats. At least I have people like Steve doing my content. So obviously that's taken care of. I know I can trust him, and that obviously hand out to him. Awesome, right? And then I have like my graphic designer. And then it's like, okay, I already know that as soon as I give her the instructions, gets done, right?
She's good. She's
And
good. Yes.
but slowly but surely, I'm building everything. And then, like for example, I hire a salesperson, then like I gotta be with him first, and then slowly, like things get better. So it's just I'm in that process of handing out things as much so I don't get stuck on doing 90% of my time on tactical tasks and not actually my job, right? So that's where
Right.
I'm at. So I can relate to you, you know. But yeah, so let's talk about my next question. Do you have a challenge that you think that taught you a lot that you do think is worth sharing with the audience?
A challenge that my clients have that's worth
A
sharing.
challenge that you figure out, like you overcome a challenge and taught you something and that you want to share with the audience.
A challenge is okay. One challenge is when clients come to me and they are very upset and they've run out of money. It's really important in when you're looking for a job that you update. Well, it's really important that you have a job when you're looking for a job. Because when clients come to me and they're severance, they only have 1 week left, or they've run out of unemployment, or they've run out of whatever money they have, and they still have the family and they still have to feed everyone and clothe everyone, they are going to be very stressed about the decisions they make with me. And that makes for a very different strategy. It makes a very different job search process when they're stressed out. They're going to make short-term anxiety decisions. And I really prefer when the client they already have a job, so they have income coming in, so they don't have to worry about that. And they're just doing this with me so they can buy their time and slowly find the right next opportunity for themselves. Because when they come to me and they're don't have any money left, they get angry at me a lot of times for changing their resume. Even though their resume isn't working, even though the LinkedIn profile isn't getting attention, they get angry at me for making the changes. And it's just because they're, projecting onto me. But so it's a lot easier. It's a big challenge. It's a big challenge when they come to me stressed. Most of the time I can turn them around and get them confident to control their career. Most of the time. But if they're completely driven by anxiety, sometimes I have to let them go because it's just not working.
Yeah, it's tough when you're acting on a survival mode,
Yes.
right?
Survival mode is very bad for long-term decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And it's tough. It's tough because like when you are looking for a job, usually, you're unhappy, you want to get out, and it's like, God, like I just want to get out of here. And you're not thinking sometimes straight. And
Right.
that's why it's important to be able to educate people. And that's why, doing podcasts like this and getting the media, doing content, social media articles like you do on LinkedIn, those are so important because it's trying to prevent people to get to that point, right? Because that way it's easier when people are educated, and then they can take educated decisions before they get stressed and get to that point of survival.
Yes, that is really what I do is I educate people on what they don't know about with the job search that will help them. I give them tools, I give them methodology, and if they use it, all of the methodology, it works if you work it, right? If they use the methodology, they will get what they need. They will be able to control their career. If they stop doing one thing, that's going to reduce their chances. If they stop doing 2 things, that's going to reduce their chances even more. So I tell them, if you use all of my tools and you use all of my methodology, you will control your career.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I know that, you know, you're very knowledgeable what you do. So as long as, like, if you're looking for a job, an executive job, and you're looking to change, as long as you're willing to be coachable and you're not coming from a survival space and you're willing to follow the steps, Soozy got you. Right.
Yeah, I got you.
Perfect. This is great. This is something that super timely right now, obviously.
Very timely. We need inspirational leaders, people. We need inspirational leaders who are emotionally intelligent and collaborators. So join the force.
Yeah, join the force, right? I completely agree with that, because that's exactly what I'm trying to do, right? Like, I'm trying to be an inspiration, not only for my employees, but just for my network in general. Because you know, when you're a business leader, not only you have to inspire the people that you're leading, but there's also your network that is looking at you, and that's why I'm trying to be an inspiration for everybody that I can touch.
So, toast to the inspirers, to the inspiration. You and I, the inspirers. There we go.
Love it. So, you know, to wrap this up, is there any last thoughts that you want to leave the audience with?
Well, if anybody, so I do offer one free thing. If people want to email info@controlyourcareer.net, I'm happy to send them this one sheeter on that will start them in reducing their job search 90%. That's what I was talking about earlier. They can start with that, learn how to at least notice fewer jobs or apply to fewer jobs. So info@controlyourcareer.net. And I will send them this PDF for free that will totally help them get started.
Awesome. And I mean, by the press release that we did together, that's how also you can put Soozy Miller with SOOZY.
Yes, OOZY.
Because of that spelling, it's good for me, because it was easy job for SEO when we did the press release. So now it just comes up very easy, because there's not many Soozy Millers spelled like that. So
nope.
I props to your mom for giving you that name, because it made my life easier, and now you're more brandable, right? Like, you're more recognizable.
I've heard that before. That's why I have it. That's why I heard it before.
But nice. So so you're Soozy Miller, control your career. You can just put that on Google and you'll be able to find the press release. And also I'll have the links, the LinkedIn and website in the description. But you know, I just wanted for you guys to hear from her, just in case people are not watching the video, because this goes on audio too. So
okay.
Perfect. So this was great. Thanks for taking the time. I appreciate you taking the time. I think this was fun. We laugh a lot about my hair and everything prior to it. And, you know,
yes, we did. The whole hair issue is done. We're done talking about that. But it's a pleasure to be here. Everyone have a great weekend and control your career.
Oh, awesome. So this was Soozy Miller and Foo signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Foo with your host, Foo. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.